How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, and I would love to have a drink with wrestling on the rocks, fella.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sheamus wants a drink with us, and so should you. Welcome back to Wrestling on the Rocks' first episode. One day, we'll be on episode 2. Today is not that day. I'm at Ref Marsh. Klump, are you there with me?
Yes, I am Crybaby Klump on Twitter, which I'm never on, so just call me Klump. That's what everyone does. Hi.
That's a good point.
Yeah. There.
I mean, you can message Klump on Twitter, or you can scream at a mailbox. Either way, same content.
Might watch a video of people screaming in a mailbox on YouTube, so that might get to me faster.
That's a good point. You read those comics, the comments on it. You always read them.
Yeah.
You always tell me, you see what this person said about the mailbox video? I'm like, oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's the best.
Trying to communicate with Klump. Mailbox.
Awesome. Let's see here. Klump, how you been?
Decent. It's been a pretty awesome couple of days. We did our last show a few days ago. We watched some decent wrestling last night. I'm excited to talk about. Today's been good. How about you, boss? How you been?
I've been all right. There's been a lot going on, and I'm happy to be here with friends. I'm happy to have the company I have to have a drink with, because sometimes you just need your friends to get you through, and that's where we're at. I'm going to say this at the top of the show. For October, a listener of ours, Don Stugotz, you can find him on Twitter. I don't know his handle, but he's there. He brought to our attention that he was going to go sober for October. We didn't know what that was, so I reached out to take a look. He also seemed only semi-sure, so I looked into it. Going sober for October, you can go to gosober.org.uk, and the Macmillan Cancer Support Group is doing a benefits of going sober for October. So we're going to take part in this. You can go on there and you can sign up. You can choose between going sober for a full 31 days the whole month, for 21 days out of the month, or 14 days out of the month. You go booze free in October, and then you ask your friends and family to donate. Once you sign up and you have the account, they can go donate for you, and then it helps people who are living with cancer. So a really cool thing that we did not know about, had no idea about till last night, and we decided we're going to go ahead and jump in on it. Klump, because at the end of the day, it's not about what's in your glass. It's about who's sitting next to you while you have a drink. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what's been going on here. This is, I think this is a really cool thing for us to do. Certainly, I've already been kind of doing it, but I agree with that. And we'll find out if y'all need alcohol to put up with me.
Yeah, we'll find out by the end of the month if it's just if you're the reason we're drinking and it's not the shows at all. Like, it turns out the wrestling's not been the problem.
I hit November 1st, and literally I just started pouring Grey Goose down my throat.
Yeah, I couldn't get through it. I do see we got Elliot in the chat. What's going on, Elliot? Always good to have you around. We got Gozer Kinslayer in the chat as well. So people are coming through. We appreciate you guys. Also, like I said, feel free to go jump on that Go Sober for October as well. So with that in mind, Klump, what's in your glass?
I have my second thing of coffee today with 2% milk, which if I had to nail down what depression tastes like, it is coffee with 2% milk. And then I have Red Bulls and Pellegrino. I'm doing it for my health, not for a positive aspect, but just more toward ending that sooner.
Yeah, but then at the same time, right? So you can go ahead and sign up for it and be like, hey, it's not that I'm going sober, it's that I'm keeping sober, and that's enough reason for people to celebrate and for friends to donate, if you ask me. So something anybody can check out, gosober.org.uk. I am having Canada Dry ginger ale with orangeade. It says made from real ginger with real juice. Doesn't say what kind of juice. Makes me suspicious, but is one of my favorite mixers, and it's delightful without the punch.
It is kind of strange to hear you just say Canada Dry, and I immediately thought, wait, what are they mixing it with? Like, what? Like, Canada Dry is getting into liquor?
Yeah.
What's better is that producer here, I just stocked up, so we have so much booze in the house.
Yeah, she was swinging by, and she's all like, oh, I didn't find much booze at the first place. Then I went to the second place, saw so much good booze, I bought all of it. And I was like, sweet, this is going to be a party month. And then we see the tweet by Dawn, and I went, what's the Sober for October stuff? And she side-eyes me, and she goes, don't you dare.
Yeah, so I guess I'll be drinking for all of you guys.
Yeah. Producer's not signing up. She's going to drink to get through the show. We're all three.
We just got peanut butter whiskey that I am so excited about. So
yeah, and then the first thing she asked too, she's like, "Is it every day?" And I was like, "Well, there's sign up options." She's like, "Are you only doing this for the show, or can I drink not on the show?" I was like, "You can sign up or not. Totally fine."
If anything, you need to drink for Marsh and Kevin. So
yeah,
I need you to start yelling at us midway through this show aggressively.
In the chat, he says, I dare you to eat a ghost pepper on live. I don't even know where to get ghost peppers. They're all dead, right?
No.
What are we going to do? Have a pepper seance?
Great. Now y'all are going to experience sober Marsh jokes.
Yeah.
They're better this way. They're better this way. Yeah, we're gonna like do a last call, and then the outro is just not gonna play, and we're gonna look over, and producer's gonna be sitting there with an empty bottle in her hand, just completely out, being like, "Oh man,
oh, was I supposed to do something? Oh,
yeah. What do you mean?"
Yeah, I'm usually a wine drinker, but I think I might switch over. I might just start having everything on the rocks now.
Something a little bit more on the rocks. And then she was complaining, Kevlar was complaining, being like, that's the whole show's gimmick. We're going to lose viewers. And I was like, trust me. We are not losing viewers.
I like how half of the show has kind of gone into that, but like there's me, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
But this is for like a good cause, so let's see.
Yeah, no, that's for a cause.
Generally, not drinking is typically for a good cause or legal reasons.
That's
yeah. There's. I'll be honest with you. There's no bad reason to not drink.
Yeah,
just to
unless
be
you are
honest.
A beer taster, or like your job is literally to taste beer. But then maybe you should look at a different job. I can't really think of one.
Yeah, hey, there's plenty of decent reasons to have a drink and to be with friends, and I understand all that stuff. But as far as, like, not drinking, I've never heard someone give a reason why they're not drinking and thought, terrible idea, you must drink more. It's fine. There's a good reason for all those. So, in this case, the reason is charity.
Also, as somebody who does not drink, for anyone who ever knows anyone who's not drinking, to me it's a funny joke the first 50 times, but saying cheers to that when somebody says they quit drinking does get old fast.
I mean, we only say it on the show because it's the gimmick of that we say cheers to everything here.
No, like, or beer, like drinks to that, like, fuck off.
Yeah. I'll be honest though, I was sober for almost 2 years a while back for, whatever good reasons I had at the time. And it didn't really stop me from going to the bars and spending time with my friends. A lot of my friends I'm really close to, and I wanted to be around them, and that's where they were. Every bar you go to, you can get a glass of pineapple juice. They've all got cranberry juice. I was really happy when I found the ones that had coffee, which exists in some bars will have coffee, and then it's amazing because then you're up all night. The only problem is you got to put them to bed is the only problem. You're expected to.
If they got good food, like the Garter has the best food to me. So yeah, just like, it's got good food. I'm cool. I'll switch my vices up and get fatter. Not a problem. Yeah. That's why I got 600-pound chair here.
That's right. You invested in the big chair, which I'm gonna have to do. Maybe without drinking for a month, I will stop breaking this chair. We'll see. We'll see if this chair continues to buckle. Let's see. One other thing I want to get out of the way before we get into it is we have decided to be a sponsor for Mission Pro Wrestling. And we just wanted to tell everybody to check them out. Mission Pro Wrestling does have a show coming out November 6th. It does look like if you look up on their YouTube and such, you can see some really good matches already with Thunder Rosa and I see Holodead. I know she had one with Lindsay Snow. But if you go to their website or follow them on Twitter at Mission Pro Res, WRES, or check out their website. You just Google Mission Pro Wrestling and it's right there, .net.
I'm looking right now.
He's looking right now. He wants to know what we're sponsoring. He's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, this is cool as fuck. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mission Pro is they're a new promotion, and they're all women, so it's pretty
It's
awesome.
an all-women's promotion that's owned by Thunder Rosa, and head of creative is Robin Reed. So a really cool thing. I mean, how many times have we said how good Thunder Rosa is, and whenever she wants to do, we're going to be supporting of it. I mean, this is really where you put your money where your mouth is on that one.
Right on.
Based out of Texas, so.
Based out of Texas, home
Neighbors.
of Dork Chop, who's not in the chat today because he's too big for us now. He's gone big time.
Ooh, they got a really cool fanny pack I want.
Ooh. I'm always down for a good fanny pack. We'll have to look into that. We'll see what we can do. But missionprowrestling.net, check them out, make a donation, or you just check them out. Eventbrite. I think they're going to be streaming on... We'll get more information as it comes up. But they do have a tournament Out of Hell coming out November 6th.
Nice.
So hopefully we can get some... Oh, look at Gozer does make a good point. Bad reason not to drink, number one. Celebrating 1 month sober in AA. That is a bad reason to drink. Celebrating sobriety. So all right. Well, he found one. But Mission Pro Wrestling, can't put it over enough, and we'll maybe do a watch along with it, and we'll see what we do. But yeah, really excited for that. Keep an eye on them. Klump,
Yo.
did you have any news you wanted to hit on? Any news that you were aware of? Because I didn't see too much in news. There was only one thing that I saw come up that I thought was going to be worth talking about, and it leads right into AEW, so we can hit that at the end of the news segment.
No, I don't have any news. That was awesome. That was super cool. I'm glad that you did that. You did that. I know you did that. That was awesome.
No, he did that. I didn't say anything in the clip, if you noticed.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
He said that. He said those things. That's his thing now. He's friend of the show. He's probably our best friend now.
All right, so moving on.
Can you spot me $20?
Clump's the worst. Clump's trying to shit on everything we try to do that's positive.
That's why I'm trying to move this on.
What's the matter with you?
So Klump has no
This
news.
is literally how you've talked to me for pretty much our entire friendship. So I'm just getting it back to
Oh.
I'm sassy.
You just thought that would lure him in?
We're losing people. Just saying.
We never had him.
I can see.
Oh, you got numbers?
I can see
You
the
got
amount
numbers?
of people. They're
Yo, I was reading. There was an interview that was done. Matt Cardona's not with AEW, dude.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he had a short-term contract. It was like 1 or 2 months. He had like 2 matches, and then that's it. Now he's just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing now.
And this really throws our whole understanding of contracts for another loop.
Dude,
Because if we thought we didn't understand it before, we definitely don't understand it now.
I do not understand contracts.
I mean, maybe I could see that, but then I wonder how many other people are getting these. Like, is it an offer of, hey, we can give you a short-term contract? As like, I could see it as a real positive. Like, if you're not working, hey, do you want to like work for us for a bit to, basically do some work for a little bit, help out if it can, and then, go from there and give them the option. That's cool. I could see that. I mean, I have a suspicion based on that might be what's happening with a few different people, maybe the NWA people. Yeah. And that's not bad.
Oh, I'm sure short-term contracts are a really common thing in AEW. I mean, how many people have you seen show up for one show and go? They can't put them on TV without some kind of contract. So if they're doing just one-show contracts or by appearance contracts, that stuff makes sense. I mean, WWE has done that in the past. WWE has done that in the past. So it's not without realm that it's possible. And with a company like AEW that's trying to utilize as many indie talents as they can, I think it's probably more common there than you think. I'm just surprised it was Matt Cardona of all people. But it does explain the weird booking he had. It didn't seem to be going anywhere. But that also, to me, begs the question, why sign on for a month if there's nothing? You're just going to come out there and be Cody's best friend and then go? Like, it was weird.
I don't know. Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, I have a feeling, are we going to see him show up in Impact or show up with Brian Myers?
I hope so. I hope we see him do something somewhere. I like the guy a lot.
Oh, yeah, no. But I know he and Brian Myers are super close, former Kurt Hawkins. So that'd be cool. I mean, I could also see this as doing short-term contracts to see if things open up and you can go back, Maybe they want to be, within WWE. They want to keep things open. That's
Oh, I guess he had to try not to be locked down in case something opens back up. I mean, that'd be cool if he made a big splash appearance coming back. But at the same time, I just think it was a little weird. You'd think with someone of his caliber that you'd want to try and lock him down for as long as you could.
And also,
but again, I don't understand contracts or anything like that. Go ahead, producer.
Yeah.
And also, we haven't seen anyone go to AEW and go back to WWE, right? Am I wrong in that?
Yeah, I mean, that would just be fun in general. So, I don't know. It's just I thought it was a little bit weird of all people. Like I wasn't surprised when Thunder Rosa said she didn't have anything else going on with AEW because she's currently the NWA champion. She's currently running Mission Pro Wrestling. It wasn't a surprise that they would have her come on for about a month and do a couple of matches and put over their talent and all that stuff because she's doing other stuff. Cardona was let go from WWE. He's doing his podcast. He showed up in AEW and was like, "Oh, this could be a place where he really runs." But after like a month, he just wasn't there, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no, that was it." Like, I don't know. I'm just, again, I don't know contracts. I don't understand everyone's motivation for everything. I don't know if he was offered another extension or not, or anything like that. I just thought it was a little bit interesting.
Exactly. I think, and I appreciate you saying that last bit. Like, there's a lot of layers to this. It could have been, just mutual. It could have been AEW. It could have been him. It could have been a lot of factors as to why this came to an end or this went this way. It doesn't have to be like some smoking gun or evil thing. It's just like, maybe he didn't want to do it there for an extended period.
Yeah, maybe he didn't gel like he thought he would. Maybe they just didn't have much for him in general, and they didn't want to flounder for any more time. Like, because it was kind of a weird little run he had over there. I was really hoping for a lot more. When I first saw him, I was like, well, it didn't have the splash I would have liked, but hopefully he runs with it and goes far. And then it just kind of became nothing. It was unfortunate. A dude that good. What the hell's going on, man? Everyone should be clamoring for this guy.
I agree. He is. I can't think of a negative with him.
No.
He's the only thing I could think as a reason he might not go places is that he's small, but he's small for WWE, and that's not small for anywhere else. He's
not even that small. He's gotten way big too. Like, he was small when he was the IC champion for a day, but by the time he left there, dude's jacked. He's big, man. Like, that guy, I don't know. He's definitely bigger than a number of the talent they have now on all shows. So,
oh shit, he's 6'2".
Yeah.
I thought he was like 6 foot or less. No, that's big. And then no, he I think it's because I keep thinking of him when he was with Edge, and you forget Edge is 6'20". He's
that dude's like Slenderman for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I thought it was really confusing when I saw it, and I was like, what? But I also thought it was really confusing everything they were doing with him too. So, I mean, and then they let Kyoto show up and go. I don't know. It almost feels like they're just, I don't know. Are those like weird little power plays or something? Oh, look, we can get them, but we don't want them. We're like, what?
I don't know. I wouldn't. So this one, I don't want to throw as power plays. I truly want to believe, in my heart of hearts, that what it is like, we see people not working. We have some ability to try and bring people in because some of our talent can't be here. Let's see what we can do and highlight people, because even if it were somebody saying that'd be a fun dig at them, then why the fuck did you bring in Eddie Kingston? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, then why did you for the people where you can see it be that, like Brody Lee or Matt Cardona, or then why did you bring in Brian Cage? Why did you bring in Ricky Starks? There's other people that you could just ignore and keep grabbing people from WWE. So I truly like to think that it's a situation where, and I don't necessarily think it's smart to have done this. That's, in some ways I would say this, gesture out to get people in and give them some ability to work is to their detriment, because ultimately what you're doing is putting out more money in this kind of risky time when you're not near as established as the company that released them.
Or even like the stop go kind of booking on it. Like, why bring him in for just a small pop. I could understand if you like, what if they did a storyline with him? Like if they had him for like 3 months and said, we want to bring you in hot, have you go against this dude, and maybe even take it to a loser leaves town match that he loses and then goes. It's like, well, yeah, it was a short-term contract. Loser leaves town. What am I supposed to do? Like, you know what I mean? But to just have him go out there, do a couple matches with Cody and the Dark Order and then be done. This is going to be, it's a forgettable run in AEW. And the last thing Cardona needs is a forgettable run. This guy,
agree with that.
This guy's, like we said, incredible, and he's charismatic. And listening to his podcast and stuff, this guy is one of us. He's a huge, huge wrestling fan who's lucky enough to be doing it at a high level, and he's skilled. This isn't a sloppy guy, or this isn't anybody who's known for being anything but incredible. So it's just, for me, super weird. Why bring him in without a vision? Or you just wait. Like, you know what I mean? If you're even talking to him saying, hey, we want to figure out something to do with you, we'll call you when we figure out some sort of 3-month program.
Yeah.
But to bring him in for a month and let him go, it's like, what was the point, man? Like, that dude's incredible, and everyone was waiting to see him pop up somewhere. It was just, if nothing else, it was wasted. It was wasted on someone who I wish had better.
Yeah, and I think that ultimately, I don't know if we could do, we there's a lot of things I'm sure we could do better, but I know that when you have a staff of so many people, it's hard to make so many stories, so I'm not going to knock it too hard, because I surely don't think I could book an entire company, but it does make me question and wonder sometimes, like, why not go old school and do that? Because I feel like it's a very old school move to give these people, like, hey, I know you're not working, come on into essentially our territory,
Yeah.
And it makes me, and I like to think again, in my heart of hearts, like, you got enough old timers there and a lot of people who grew up around it, like Cody, who were like, let's get him in. Let's see what we can do. Like, these guys, this guy's been working. Let's do it. And that's amazing. I think that's an awesome thing to do, but what can you do that's a little bit different or better? And I think in some cases maybe people deserve it, because, I am so excited to see Nero, but I am not loving this.
I'm really excited for the next thing with Miro, to be honest. But
yeah, once you get past this bullshit.
Yeah, we're in it. We're already talking about AEW.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
we're talking about Dynamite. Did you see all of Dynamite?
A fair
or
amount.
Did you catch clips?
Clips, but a lot of clips.
Did you see the Darby Allin Ricky Starks match?
I saw a lot of it.
Dude, it is so good.
It was, and it needed to be that. I think these guys really, truly needed to be there, because not Ricky Starks necessarily. He's shown up every time he's been out, but Darby Allin, his ring work's good, but I'm getting so fucking tired of him. I'm getting tired of him. Like, him in the ropes is fantastic. Somebody needs to rewrite him, because him outside of it, it's just fucking the worst.
I mean, it's so cryptic that it doesn't make enough sense to follow along to be invested.
Yes.
So I give you that.
I think that the
cryptic. Idea.
I would say don't say cryptic. It feels like and you said this before, so very much like it's trying to be deeper than it has any need or right to be.
That's kind of what I mean by cryptic, is that he's trying to talk in a way or present something in a way that's super mysterious, and you got to think deeper and all this stuff. But you also kind of realize that what they're talking about isn't as deep as what they're trying to portray it as, and it comes off a little weird. So it also just comes off as it's easy to not get invested in. And a character like that, I think he needs people invested in him. I thought this match was incredible. The only problem I had with the match was that Darby won. And that's it. Because at this point, wouldn't that make the end of the feud? Like, I don't see any reason to continue this at this point. Ricky Starks got a bunch of lucky shots. Now Darby won and beat him and shut him up, and that's it. He shut up now. So my only problem with it was I would have preferred either Ricky Starks winning or some sort of DQ finish, which they don't do here. But I think this is the exact kind of story you need that kind of thing in, so you can get to a point where you have like a blood feud, and in 3 months you have a pay-per-view. And you put these guys on somewhere in the middle, or even at the beginning in some sort of hardcore crazy match, and boom, people are invested. Darby winning is the end of the story. Bruce had something she wanted to say.
I don't think that the company has a lot of long-term visions as far as storylines from what I see.
Klump?
I agree there. I think, or at least maybe I'll give him a bit of positive. Maybe it's just something I'm not seeing very well, but it doesn't feel like it. And if anything, it feels like if we refer back to something, it kind of comes off like, well, I did this so long ago. Yeah, I don't feel like you laid the groundwork for me to believe you're doing this that far back. You know?
Yeah. This feels a lot like, hey, if you're the most popular person, you get the win.
Yes.
Without thinking about, well, what happens when the least popular person wins? Well, then it gives a reason for the more popular person to come after him again. Builds interest, right?
Yeah. Well, I feel like they're trying to build a stable to go against Cage, Starks, and Taz with Mox, Cage, or Mox, Darby, and Big Guy.
Will Hobbs.
Yeah, Will Hobbs. And that's awesome. But I don't know if I like how it's being like it. I feel like what happened here, this could have been a great chance for Starks to have won clean, or it to be really close and win, and then you kind of keep building it. But then, or even have a schmoz where Cage comes out and then Will Hobbs goes, but then they do so many schmozes, you know? And they do them in weird places, and then they don't do them in places where, yeah, that would have made sense.
Yeah, they seem to be weirdly placed, but at the same time, like, I feel like this is actually leading away from a faction, right? You'd want a faction to build up and be Voltron, right? The whole point is to our powers combined are going to get over on these villains who keep beating us down. If the good guys keep winning every one of their matches against any one of these guys, there's no point to join forces. No, I beat them every time. Why would I? I don't need help. Sorry, I just beat them.
Yeah, it reminds me of like when I was a kid and I didn't understand, like, man, why does every story have to have all these problems? Of course, well, because that builds interest and the characters develop and have to face challenges. You know, as you get older, you understand that, and I feel like that's not what we see in this company. We don't see any challenges in that way that lead to anything long term, like you said, a pay-per-view.
Yeah. I mean, talking about Sheamus earlier, what makes Sheamus so great as a mean heel is he has these brutal matches where he just beats the shit out of the good guy, the popular guy, over and over again until the popular guy has to figure out a way to beat him finally. And then that makes the popular guy more popular. And it puts Sheamus then on a higher level because he's beaten up the guy we thought would win easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the exact opposite.
It's let's make the popular guy look. It's making the popular guy look better and better and better, but then nobody's able to come up after him. It feels so much like you have a bunch of faces and bad guys jumping in at this like high level, like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Where did you come from? Why are you yelling at Cody?
Yeah, and why is Ricky Starks a part of a faction if they're not willing to be out there and cheat for him and help him win? Mm-hmm. What's the point of that? I mean, I don't know. I just, like I said, my problem with this match wasn't the match. The match was great. My only problem was that there's nowhere to go now, and all I wanted was to see this match another 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? And now there's no reason to. So it's like, all right, well, now we're moving on. So what's next, I guess? So I was a bit bummed out by the idea of that being a finale with something that was so good. I want to see it build to more. And then that's all. Because these guys worked amazing together. So well together. Better together than I thought they would, even though we kept saying that they had good chemistry when we saw them together.
I agree with that. Yeah, they really put, like, there are a pair where you're like, yeah, I think they put everything out there, and you're like, oh shit, you got more in the tank. Okay, cool. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, great coffin drop. I did like the coffin drop that Darby did. It looked great, you know?
I liked it a lot too. I know it was a little bit silly when I say why I liked it, but I did. I liked that he was looking over his shoulder almost the whole time.
Yeah.
Because he does that blindly sometimes in areas where you're all like, dude,
don't do
you're
this.
You're gonna get so hurt. I like that he was like looking and just like, I'm going to hit this dude. Because you know what it also does to me? If you're not looking, it looks to me like you don't care if you hit him. You should want to care that you hit him. That's the point. So with this one, it's all like, yeah, I'm going to hit this guy and I'm laying it in. This dude's done for, and I want to see his face when I do it. Sweet. But when you just blindly fall back, you're just like, no, I'm just falling off this thing. Let the chips fall where they may. Like,
it would be a neat storyline if he got hurt, or well, not hurt, but like if he like, I don't know, someone like doing that move lost its skill and they just did that and then like fucking didn't even land near the guy and he just goes over and covers him. Like, cool.
Yeah, he just falls back and just like is done.
Like the ref looks over at him, like, cover him now, please.
Like the dude legit just rolls to the side and then rolls back over for the cover. Doesn't even stand up. That'd be good. I don't want to break down this entire show bit by bit or anything like that.
No.
Oh, okay. That was just startling.
Sorry.
So I don't want to go segment by segment, but did you see the Cody promo? It was a thing following this, and it was so weird because to me they started the show so good, so hot. I was like, "This is awesome." This, the Ricky match didn't end the way I wanted it to, but it was a fantastic match. I'm rolling with this. I'm good. And then Cody comes out and cuts this super weird promo.
Yeah, I think we're trying to play the idea of him losing his mind. And he's done that in a sense before. It's kind of weird, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It is new. I'm okay with it being new, and maybe we find out more to this. I just hope it isn't just for this match. I did not like the whole no, and then comes back and says regrets. It's like, that's
so
dumb.
stupid, dude. Dude, this script, this promo
was the worst Cody promo ever.
It was weird how bad it was because I was like, I saw Cody coming out and I was like, I'm so excited for this. This is so great. We're following up Ricky Starks and Darby with a Cody promo, and he always delivers. He's all crazy emo, My Chemical Cody at this point. Death Cab for Cody, as they were saying in the Dork Chop chat. Like, we were ready for it. I was so hyped. And then he comes out, and it sounded like the most heavily scripted promo I've heard in a long time. And I watch WWE, so I know scripted promos when I hear them. You know what I mean? Like, this one, it felt so forced, so overwritten. He felt like he was trying to be so overly dramatic. Like, and then at one point it became a commercial. I'm filming another show, and this is who's standing by me, and I'm thinking about this person and all their credentials, and you're like, what?
It was so long too. I checked out after like the first minute and a half.
Yeah.
He kept talking about stuff that didn't have anything to do with anything else. It was weird, man. It was weird because I was looking so forward to it. I was super excited for emo Cody. And what was this?
And he does good long promos. He's done like promos where they extend and you're like, shit, that was 5 minutes. That was amazing.
Yeah, because they build.
This is so weird, and it did feel like a commercial in the middle of it. It felt like, I don't know, like it maybe a lack of time. It wasn't a Cody promo. It just was odd.
And this was probably the first time we've seen other super AEW fans questioning this.
Yeah, I was in a group chat for this one, and they were in there going like, what is this happening with Cody? And they're like, this is awful. Like, and it was crazy because these are people who I've never heard them say a bad thing about anything AEW if they can help it. But they were sitting there looking at this, like looking at each other like, what? Like, I know he's supposed to be a bad guy, but we're supposed to still like be interested, right?
Yeah, we're supposed to be compelled. The only thing it needed, like, to make it even more like a weirdly a play is for them to dim the lights and him to pull out Urik's skull.
That'd be cool, yeah. The candle on it. Dude,
Oh,
and then the pull apart, which, like you said, that whole super overly dramatic no is in no regrets, and there's just this whole stupid thing.
And
that pull apart was like 10 minutes long. That pull apart, I was like, why are we still doing this? Well, we get it.
Okay, so the pull apart it took me from being disinterested to being actively upset. Well, okay. Your company just had a few performers test positive for COVID. And we're in 2020 where the other promotion has had performers test positive for COVID. And what is your thing you're going to do as soon after this? A giant entire fucking roster pull apart brawl.
Yeah.
Why?
I said the same thing, Klump.
Well, you work in COVID things.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah. Which is like worse.
yeah, no, but it was so fucking dumb, and I was looking at that. It was in poor taste. It was dumb. It was upsetting because it didn't. You brought in performers who they got kind of showcased and highlighted, who we haven't seen in a while. I'm like, oh, cool. So we're gonna see Nyla Rose come out. We're gonna make sure that we don't fucking see him again because they're gonna get COVID and yeah.
And then Brandy forced herself into that spot where she does one little move that didn't even really budge anyone, and then they all had to slowly fall after the fact. But she took out like all of Dark Order with one move, and it's like, what was that? Why is like, it didn't make any sense, man. None of that did. I was really upset by it too. I was like, I needed a drink. And then
Thankfully, it happened yesterday.
Yeah, and then it happened yesterday when I wasn't doing sober for October.
Yeah.
Then Young Bucks kick Tony Schiavone. They're continuing this thing that's... Dude, I don't get it, man. But, so, we did end up... Which, I mean, by the way, they keep assaulting their employees and being like, we'll just send you money, Tony. What the fuck? So, FTR versus SCU for the AEW Tag Team Championships. I know that the brush with greatness... The whole rules and stipulations to me are a little goofy and a little bit weird, but... I actually really enjoyed this match. I got really into it.
It was good. I do want to say real quick, and I know we're not breaking down the entire show. I'm still, they're really all in, on every member of the Elite breaking down into some amorphous, somewhat heel, and as bad as Cody's thing was, which we don't know if he's a heel or not. Holy shit, the Young Bucks are bad. That's just upsetting. And I don't have a way to defend it or a way to think of it in a positive. It's just like two petulant, annoying kids, which even for them as heels, their heel personas are meant to be over. I don't see this getting over. I see this being like, I'm really tired of these rich assholes doing this.
I just get disinterested in it when I see them. I walk away or turn off the TV.
That's really funny you said kids. Because that's exactly what I told Marsh. I was like, man, they just sound like children.
Yeah.
With receding hairlines on one. That's why he wears a bandana so much.
They sound like kids with a camera.
I had like a small bug in front of me. Sorry, so I have to.
Oh, you got to get the bug. But I did really like the FTR SCU match. I thought that was great, and I was like, all right, I'm back in.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like Christopher Daniels in the role of like advisor.
Yes, he's much better as that, and that's how it started too. That's where I thought he was going to stay.
Yeah, Kazarian and Sky are fantastic. We don't need to see. Yeah, Daniels is great in this role. And I loved how it went. I loved Tully's involvement. You know, it was great. It was a fantastic fucking match.
I thought it was so good. By far of the absolute best.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have anything bad to say about this one, I don't think.
No.
I think there was a couple of those spots here and there. I was like, but, it was fine.
Adam Page on commentary wasn't as bad as, like, I mean...
Yeah, he was actually kind of enjoyable on commentary. He had some goofy stuff he said here and there, but I was like, no, I'm all right with him.
Well, he's supposed to be an aloof drunk, but I mean, like...
He's my dude, then.
Yeah, but it's funny that him being in that character does better than a lot of people who are not supposed to be that. I did also like his reaction to hearing that Kenny's going to be in this qualifier, and I'd like to see where that goes. I'd like to see him, push in for the number one contenders thing because, I think the arc of the character in this role that they're slowly pushing is the reason he drinks is he doesn't feel like he's in control, or he doesn't feel confident in his ability to do things, and maybe that'll push him to be like, I can do this. I'd like that, you know?
Yeah. I think that if I were to fantasy book this one, I'd like Hangman Page to join that same tournament thing. It ends up with Kenny versus Page for the number one contender spot, and I'd like to see Kenny overtly cheat to win it, and thus Kenny getting his title shot, which he should take off of Moxley, and then now you have Page, who wants to take down the dude who took his number one contender spot and cheated to do so. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen if they're smart, because they're literally booking it so that they're in separate blocks, which is great.
Yes.
You can sometimes be obvious and it'll work. I want that. And I think that would be a great way for us to see Kenny in a heel role, the cleaner role. Be compelling, show America, hey, I can be this, and then we can see Page become that babyface he should be. You know, he is the guy that you can build a promotion around in so many ways, because he's young, he's fucking good, he's fucking likable, and he's still getting better every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think we said it in the beginning too. We were really hoping that Page would be their first champion. Let's see. Before we get on to do you have anything else you want to say about that bit?
No, I thought that was more, I wanted to make sure we got into that, talking about that tag match.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that was good. I think that might have been the highlights of the show themselves. Real quick to get a couple answers here. Oh, Dorkchop's made it, but Gozer's got a question. Do you mind grabbing the comic from right up on top of there? So he was asking about these bars on here, and if you guys listen on podcast, you don't see it, but we've got these goals set up on our live feed that says that we're looking for some more drinking buddies, which is a followers goal we have, and we're looking for some sub goals. So anybody who comes to twitch.tv/wrestling on the rocks can subscribe. And if we get 50 subscribers, which I'm hoping is more of a win, we are going to give away this signed AJ Styles comic, and everyone who is a subscriber will be entered into that drawing we'll do it live on the air too, the randomizer, those little websites. But we're going to give away this signed AJ Styles comic book once we hit 50 subscribers. So if you got any friends who like AJ Styles or they have Amazon Prime, then they can subscribe for free and be entered into a drawing like so.
Heck yeah. No,
also, cheers, Dorkchop. Whoa. Dorkchop's giving away some subscriptions here to get some people a chance at winning it.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty good. Let's see. Cheers to Dorkchop. Cheers, Dorkchop.
Cheers indeed.
He missed the sober for October bit, so he's going to be a little confused at a certain point once he sees me just pouring juices. Let's see. The other thing, man, I don't want to talk about. Whoa. That's the subscription horn. Dude, I don't want to be too negative on this one, but after the FTR SCU match, they went into Chris Jericho versus Isaiah Cassidy. What did you think of this match?
We knew Isaiah Cassidy wasn't going to win this, but damn, it would have been neat to see it, because maybe an interesting... Seeing Jericho losing to Orange Cassidy, it'd be neat to see him start losing more and maybe... see less of him on TV or become a different type of heel, because he's already just, he's trying to be the most disliked heel. Well, this could be it if you're also not winning. Isaiah, for what the role was, it was a pretty neat match.
Man, I did not think they gelled well at all. I thought it looked like Jericho was trying to save his own life a bunch of times, moving himself around, moving the kid around. I didn't know why they were doing it to begin with, to be honest. And then they did it to lead into Jericho versus Luther. Are you excited about that one?
Nope.
Yeah. I don't know why I should be. I know that there's history between them and they're, quote, lifelong friends and all. But as far as what AEW's presented Luther to me, as someone who's not familiar with Luther, it really left me wondering why I'm here right now. You know what I mean?
I think...
Or while we're here in his story.
Yeah. Let's see here. So we have... Dorkchop. It was so bad. Private Party needs to work on Dark for a while. Cassidy and Quinn both miss spots. Have to have their opponents set them up for everything. Yeah, I really want them. I really want them to be there, but they're so charismatic. I haven't seen Luther since the Nightmare Collective stuff, and this would be a great time to rebrand Luther. Bring him in, talk to him a little bit. Maybe have him kind of join the Inner Circle and stuff like that. For a bit, because it's peculiar. Luther and Chris Jericho have evidently this lifelong friendship, and when Chris Jericho had his 25th anniversary match in WWE, Lance Storm and Luther were in the front row.
Oh wow!
But we wouldn't know any of that or give a fuck about any of that. We don't know anything about Luther. We hear about he's a deathmatch legend from Japan. You need to give us more than that one time. This is, this would be a fantastic, let's build him up and talk about him a bit more.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, I'm hoping since they've known each other forever that they actually put on a really good match. I think that'd be awesome. But as far as interest leading into it, I haven't been given anything to be interested other than they've known each other a long time. Does that mean they're going to be well together in the ring or not? I don't know.
And I think, to me, that's something that we've seen a few times, and it frustrates me, honestly. Like, when you see, it was a fantastic match. Imagine how much better it'd be if we knew why it occurred.
Yeah.
Then why not just have it be an exhibition? Why, tell us how important it is that these guys are friends? Man, that'd be a neat story. It's Kevin Owens coming out, and he's got a match against Kenny Omega, and you're like, huh, okay, no build, nothing there, and you're like, that was really cool. Y'all work together really, really well. And they don't talk about anything. They don't talk about them being in PWG. They don't talk about them, kind of having these weird parallel tracks and disappearing, going different routes. It's there.
Yeah, I got a really hard time with the way we throw around, or the wrestling fans throw around, the idea of a dream match so much when there is no lead up to that match. Yep. To me, the dream is the story that gets me invested in that match, right? So it's yes, I want AJ and Sammy and Jeff Hardy in a ladder match, but I want a story to get me there, so I care about who wins. I don't just want to have it just to have it. I don't want it in a bubble. I don't want just to pop up on a YouTube clip saying, oh, here's the match, just go ahead and watch it. I want a story with it. You know what I mean?
There's something to appreciate when you know all of the context and background to something and being like, oh, that was really awesome, they got to work. But usually that occurs after, and it really helps out to find out, oh, and in addition to that story, they'd always wanted to do this. Make it mean something more.
Something tells me that Jericho versus Luther makes no sense to us, but somebody's excited about it because there's a lot of history there that we just don't know. And I wish I knew, because it's going to be coming up here in 1 week with no additional build, and I'm supposed to care, and right now I can't. And I think that Dorchop also plays it out where, he watches Dark, and we don't. But he says, I just don't know why Luther and Serpentico, who is David Arquette, I believe, who are basically jobbers on Dark, are going to fight Jericho in any capacity right now. Yeah, from the little clips I have seen of Dark here and there, I don't think I've seen anything. I think I saw one where Luther won. But, yeah, why am I supposed to care? Why am I interested? They had a weird little schmoz thing that seemed to be secondary to everything else happening on the outside of the ring, and now 1 week later we're getting the match. I think part of it is supposed to be cool is the fact that it's the 30-year anniversary for Jericho. Mm-hmm. I think Jericho started with this guy based off of how Lance Storm knows who he is. But, again, they're not telling me any of this, and I don't know for certain. I'm trying to piece it together.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's haphazard.
Yeah.
What'd
you think of? Okay, go ahead.
No, I was really haphazard. Yeah, let's just keep going.
Oh yeah, okay. Dorchop says, I think Jericho wants to get his old buddy a payday, and yeah, they came up together in the Canadian scene. Yeah, I wish they would just tell us more stuff other than they've been lifelong friends. Because you know what didn't pan out? Matt Cardona being lifelong friends with Cody. That didn't go anywhere, so just being friends doesn't mean anything to me. Brandon Cutler. He went to school with the Young Bucks, so here he is. Okay, stop telling me that they're all friends and start telling me why I want to see them fight.
I just think this really highlights the importance of writers. We we could say, oh, all the other products don't have great, it's overproduced or whatever, but at the end of the day, like they're giving us characters and making us interested in matches to get some feeling out of us. With this, yeah, everyone could be, a celebrity in the wrestling world, but it doesn't really make us care.
Yeah, my favorite thing in all WWE is their video packages before the matches. 100%. I could watch nothing but video packages all day. I don't need to see the match. I don't care how the match goes. I just know I want that other guy to win. You know what I mean?
I like Dork Chop, yeah. And Luther on Talk is Jericho was fantastic. I love that episode. But he also brings a good point. They came up in the Canadian scene together. How about, I don't know, let's lead this in and have, say, Lance Storm come in if you could get him, or somebody from the Canadian scene, or somebody on their roster who's Canadian, like, and talk about how it's amazing that they got, we have this talent and we're going to do an appreciation of people who mean something to us. I don't know. And then, Jericho can be an asshole and Luther can be like, hey, don't disrespect, this, you've done this and that, but you're not that great. We've come up together and you're just an asshole and I'm tired of your shit. And then he hits them and you're like, oh, cool. That gives it a bit more story,
It gives it any story. I mean, The thing is that growing up with someone to me doesn't mean that there's animosity there. Why do I want to see them in a match? Why do I want to see them fight? Why are they so mad at each other? Oh, they came up together. Okay, did someone double cross someone else? What's going on here? But instead it's all like, no, he just reached over and they pointed her finger and now here we are. I just don't know. To me, that's not enough to be invested. And that's all I'm saying is I want to be invested. I want investment in these things where I care more about who's going to win it than I do care about, oh, I'd like to see them do these moves together and anyone who wins is fine. And I'm just here to clap. Like I want to care a little bit. And that they're missing that.
Yeah. Any of the historical matches that we all love is for the story, not necessarily the moves or they're really good friends. No.
Yeah. Let's see. After that, we had Orange versus 10. You want to talk shit about Retribution names real quick, or are we just going to talk about Orange versus 10?
Yeah, they took your suggestion, Klump.
They're all shitty, dude. They're all shitty. I'm not saying numbers aren't shitty. I'm also saying Retribution names are shitty.
All right. Dork Chop says he's got to go. Hopefully he comes back through later on. Cheers, Dork Chop. Thanks for coming through. All I'm saying is a lot of people were shitting all over Retribution's names, and they don't think that Orange versus 10 is a weird thing at all. I even brought that up. I said, it's Orange versus 10. They're like, it's Orange Cassidy. And I was like, okay, his name's Orange. We're believing his first name is Orange. And then he said, and it's not 10, it's Preston 10 Vance. I was like, well, that's not how he was billed. It's not how he was introduced. It's not what it said on the marquee beneath him when he walked out. It said Dark Order's number 10.
Well, theoretically, it's Preston versus 1, because if we're going to go like that, Orange versus 1, because if you're going to go like that, then its first names, it's 1-0 is 10.
It could be. Yeah. Either way, I mean, the match was fine in and of itself for what it was, but I just thought it was funny that a lot of people were defending 10, but just thought Mace was just crossing a line.
And exactly what I told you, Klump, that, a number would make me uninterested. This made me uninterested.
Yeah, you can't have the name 10 and expect me to care about that character. I'm not behind him. He feels like a jobber, even though this guy's probably incredible, but he feels like a jobber because his name is 10.
Mace isn't the one that people are critical of. It's Slapjack, goddammit.
Well, Slapjack seems pretty good.
And T-Bar to an extent.
T-Bar's horrible. X-Pac's okay. Just saying, we could if you. I just saying we should be equal across the board, right? Shitty names happen and people make up with it.
I'm not knocking it. Don't. Yeah, and Paul Levesque should just be Paul Levesque.
Yeah, I do think it's funny. He just went straight to Triple H. It even just says triple when he comes out. Yeah. It's like, come on. So funny to me.
Please call me Triple.
Yeah, Triple. I don't even like when I read people go trips. I'm like, oh, stop.
That is weird.
That's the worst. Real quick, I don't want to bury too much stuff in any of this stuff. I just thought the name thing was fine. The match was decent. I didn't have any problems with it for the most part. MJF and Chris Jericho doing their business. The only thing I thought about that was that to me it was really funny that MJF had these jackets made for the Inner Circle and was giving them all out. But these are jackets that they all wore during the last pay-per-view and took pictures of them all in them together. From September 8th, they posted it online. All of them wearing these jackets, including Sammy. Sammy standing there in a jacket made for him with his name on it, identical to all these jackets.
Yeah, consistency is not their forte.
Yeah, there's like, oh, you know what we should have done? And they go, we still can.
Do you get the impression? I mean, everyone's done it, and this is just
no one will notice.
Maybe they come in. We got the side. Oh, you got the jackets. Oh fuck! I knew I forgot something. Hit wardrobe. We got these. Fuck it. And then someone's like, they wore those at, and then you just hear like you vaguely on the show. You just hear, fuck.
Yeah. God.
I feel like the only one who probably noticed is JR. JR is probably just like, oh, these damn kids.
Yeah. Always upset with him.
Maybe that's why he's asking where COVID testing centers are. He gets depressed and he just wants to get it.
Yeah, just give me 2 weeks off. But they did.
If it gets worse, just give me off.
Yeah, but I mean, the segment itself wasn't a problem, and it was what it was, and more of what they're doing, and you kind of see where it's going, and I'm not the biggest fan of both of them, but I didn't have a problem with it. I wasn't like, oh, how can anybody like this? I get it. I'm not living and dying by that storyline. It was fine. They did a good job with it. They did what they did. I just thought it was really funny. He was giving them jackets. He's giving them their jackets back. And then it was just weird. Let's see. Britt Baker and Red Velvet was okay. He was moving Britt Baker around.
Yeah.
And then, so we had the Moxley versus Butcher thing. We'll talk about that. Dude, I love Eddie Kingston.
Yes.
And I think when you give this dude a mic, he's absolute fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this company has already taken a lot of heat for having referees buried constantly, not enforcing rules, doing goofy stuff, messing up finishes. And we start this by giving Eddie Kingston a mic and a referee to berate and threaten for actually making a good call. Not only was it a good, clean call, but it was a call for the safety of the talent, which this company has also been under fire, potentially for the lack of safety for one of their talent. And now we're berating a referee for protecting one of the talent. And he asked him, what gives you the right to end the match? Like, he can't just point to his shirt and goes, oh, this gives me the right.
I feel you're slightly biased.
I would have loved if Kyoto was there. Oh, man, I would have loved that.
Kyoto just slaps him. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Just bows up on him.
Yeah, you see the New Yorkers at it. That's so great.
I know. Kyoto's from New York, too, and he's all like, man, I've been doing this for fucking 40 years. You gonna feel like he just fucking rips him. Just like, can you imagine? That ain't funny, dude. I love Kyoto.
I think you're a little biased here, but
I think Kyoto should have showed up with a slapjack in hand and smacked Eddie Kingston. All right, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I think so. I liked what Eddie did here, and yeah, Eddie's a heel in this role, and Eddie's supposed to work you. And I don't know why he's focusing on the refs out there, but it makes sense. Eddie's a heel. Eddie's pissed off. Eddie lost the match. Eddie, as a heel, ain't gonna blame anyone but who, in his eyes, took the match from him. And who's that? The ref. And it is a hard ass promo and a really fucked up one. Like damn. But I'm cool with it because it makes sense to me for what he's doing. Just I'm gonna lay this out on you, and it's also again back to being he's a heel. He's not gonna go at Mox, although if he did, I feel like they're trying. I feel he could have gone off on Mox, but I feel like they're maybe pulling him back because I think he'd get over too much.
I think this was an attempt to make him heel because he's not a heel. He is an absolute fan favorite who gets cheered every time he comes out. He's always been... I mean, he's out there putting groups together because we love each other. We're best friends. This dude is not a heel. But I wouldn't have a problem with this segment in a bubble. I didn't have a problem with the idea of the referee having lines or being blamed in a way. I have a problem with the context of is now the right time when you're... To tell a ref that they were in the wrong and you're going to beat the shit out of them for calling a match for your safety.
And it's not even the ref that was in the Matt Hardy match that we should probably yell at.
I know, it wasn't that. But, I mean, you just... so now you see that and you go, oh yeah, well, I mean, I guess if the wrestlers are going to threaten them for calling a match, I guess they have no reason to call a match. You know what I mean? Like, of course.
Angle, ref strike.
Yeah, and then the whole thing was online. He tweeted out to the ref, said, like, I never gave up. And the ref was all like, said something like, I did it for your safety. You were unconscious. And his response was, let me die in the ring. And I was like, that's terrible. That is awful. That is a terrible take. What are you talking about? You expect the referee to let you die in the ring? And he's, oh, okay.
I mean, I'm also a fan of Darren Aronofsky films, but...
Yeah. Faptina says, I wonder if they thought, hey, if Roman Reigns can do it, so can we. Berating a ref, that is. Yeah, that was gnarly. Telling Charlie to go fuck off, and then Charles is like, yeah, I guess I'll just fuck off. You're like... Yeah.
I quit.
Yeah. I just thought that in the context of where we're at with this, I mean, even seeing Matt Hardy ringside for the private party match, I was not a fan of. The guy said he was going to take a break, and he hasn't, and I feel like it's just saving face, and so I feel like this was not a good time to do this angle, and it was unnecessary, and it didn't bring anything to it. You didn't go, oh yeah, Kingston's got a good point. He's definitely can contend this. No, you were choked out. That's a loss. End of story. And the idea that Tony Khan would be like, oh, you make a good point, you can pick his next contender, also doesn't make sense. So I just thought context-wise, not good, not a good look, but I was excited to see Butcher versus Moxley.
It was good, and that was a good match. I do, I always make jokes about wrestlers' outfits. New gear for the Butcher. Can we, when did he start working at Sherwin-Williams? Boom, because he looks like a painter.
Yep. He's got them painter pants.
Yep.
Yeah.
But good match. And a match I think he needed because the Butcher and the Blade look fucking fantastic in the ring.
Yeah.
But they've been in weird angles, so seeing, why should we give a shit about these guys? Oh, they're fucking good at this. And they're scary and mean. And he looks scary and mean.
Yeah, and I do think it works with the whole idea of Eddie bringing them all together because he's going to help bring them up. So Eddie gets those guys their title shots and all that stuff. So I think it works in that context as well. But I do think that the berating the ref for saving your life as a negative thing, I think was a stupid way to get there. But like I said, I'm happy I got there. I really liked Butcher versus Moxley. I liked it. And like you said, I think Butcher needed it. I think it was a really good look for him to be out there in one of these types of matches and looking good. Like you said, he's been in some weird stuff where you're just kind of like, man, I expected him to look more badass than this. This is the badass I was hoping he would look like. So it's good. He's in it.
It does make me think, too, that if the wrestler had ended with the ref saying, whoa, 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 he's not doing great, God, it'd be a much more depressing movie. Probably no Oscars. Yeah,
the referee just calls the match 2 seconds in. He's like,
He keeps holding his chest and he doesn't look great. We really need to end this. He looks winded.
Call it.
Then he's back at his. He's begging to be rehired at his meatpacking job. He says to the aging stripper who also is kind of past her prime, which is a parallel story, that hey, I'm sorry, maybe I was being silly. He reconnects with his daughter.
That's the whole movie. You're just reading the whole movie.
No. This is be after he fucked all that up.
Oh, he just goes back to it. All right, that's fine.
You've not seen the wrestler?
No, he picks up where he left off. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's all I had for NXT or AEW.
I was saying, cool, we're done.
Yeah. Well, I just have NXT up on my screen already as well. But I think that's all I had for AEW. I think overall, I felt like it was a pretty 50-50 show. There was stuff that I thought was absolutely tremendous and stuff that I was like really could do without. But I mean, the matches that were good were really good. The matches that were bad were really bad. So it was kind of like, all right, well, we're getting there. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I got NXT pulled up too. I think it was a decent, show. All things considered, because there was some great work in the ring, some weird ass segments, but sometimes we've watched this and been like, wow, they had some good promos, but fuck, everything was terrible in the ring. So it's nice to have the opposite.
Yeah, it's moving around a little bit. The other thing I thought was weird about it is I thought they did the exact opposite of what NXT did on this one, where with AEW, I felt like there's almost nothing happening in there right now that led on to a future match. The Brody and Cody thing's like the only thing that was like, oh, this is leading into a story. Everything here just felt like put in a bubble and just kind of its thing. So it's like, all right, well, I guess those, if you didn't watch the next episode, you're like, all right, well, I guess I'll catch one down the line. Nothing felt like it was leading. The exact opposite of NXT this week, which everything was building in really well to their this was their go home show though, so it makes sense. They got Takeover 31 coming up this weekend, and they got a few matches to build up for it. And I thought they did a really good job of building up the hype for Takeover.
I agree. I do agree with that. Yeah, I think, and in building up people, they built up. I didn't think they'd get me this excited about Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, I'm excited about Kyle O'Reilly, but like to see somebody be put up that quickly and be like, "Fuck yeah, I want this to happen," and he's really like been given the reins and taken it. I like this. I want Kyle to win so bad.
Dude, that sit down segment that they did with Kyle and Finn and Shawn Michaels was so good.
And no ending in a weird fight, because I think that they do that a lot, where these moments have to end in a brawl and you expect it. And sometimes when it doesn't happen, it's good. I think having more exchanges intensely. I think it'd be cool to occasionally have a heel and a face, pause and be like, I'm excited for this. Just have those moments connect.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah, there felt like a lot of tension, but it felt like a tension out of like respecting the other person enough. You know what I mean? Like they both feel like they are going to be the winner. Like you both felt in that segment, you felt like they were both confident that they are going to win. But you also felt like the reason it didn't fall apart into like a big schmoz is because they also both respect each other enough to wait till the ring.
Exactly. And you can do that.
Yeah. I thought it built a ton of tension. And Finn being like a little dick to Kyle. He's like does a couple voices and he goes, "Oh, you're not gonna have a lot of jokes at Takeover." And it's like, whoa. Like shut him up. The video package they put together about Kyle's history leading him up to here to remind you that he's not just a tag guy who's fallen off. He had a long singles career on the way up. Man, I'm telling you, I love their video packages. Got me so hyped. I was like, oh, I forgot about all that stuff in Evolve.
Yeah. No, and that's a great part of like we have the ability to work with Evolve and show their stuff. Hell yeah.
So
because I was thinking like the first Wrestle Kingdom I watched that got me way into New Japan, when Bullet Club was really at like its kind of height. It had Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly for the Ring of Honor title.
Mm-hmm.
And and that got me like, who's Kyle O'Reilly? Shit! And the match was fantastic. The dude's amazing. So I was like,
yeah,
hell yeah. To see, like something from the indies, from Evolve, and Evolve isn't where he built his name. Evolve isn't,
well, they showed more than just Evolve. They showed a few other places too, which I thought was just great.
Hell yeah. But no, it's a good move. I think it's great for building it up, and I think Kyle's been like the kind of, I think he's been kind of put in weird spots in the Undisputed Era, but it's cool to see, like, okay, let's put the attention on him. And,
Yeah.
like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. I think it was really cool, the way that they've been plotting Kyle. Because at first I was saying just a few weeks back how much I liked his new look and his stance, and he's coming off like a dude who could kick your ass but doesn't tell you that he's been winning championships and stuff. Like, silent killer type. So I'm really excited about this, and I thought that this was such a good way to give him more credibility going into that match. Because you think, oh, it's going to be a good match. You see all this, and you go, there's reason to think he could win.
Yeah. And also, like, the other thing with him, too, he's not quite as young as Adam Cole, but he's still really young. This is someone who we're seeing really still grow, and they're at this level. He's 33.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the chat, Fabchina says, bummer about the ACL injury. They did confirm that Tegan Knox has an ACL injury, and she's out. Man.
That's her third knee injury in her time in NXT, right?
I know it's at least the second, but I thought it was the third. I thought she got one on the way in, got one at the May Classic, and then this one after being back. Is that how it panned out? Yeah. It's
good.
No, it's just a bummer because it feels so like getting going. People want her. She's got a lot of hype behind her, and then this dumb stuff happens, and it just sucks. I didn't even see a spot in the Battle Royal where it looked like it really happened, or she wasn't even in the Battle Royal. She was already out. Yeah, so they did that. They did that running. Yeah. So she must have done it during training or something, which sucks even more.
And it's so weird. Like, I think they said it did happen in the run-in, though I could see it makes more sense to have it like happen in training. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when Seth blew his knee out with Joe. It didn't look like it until you really watch it. Like, oh shit, yeah, he did fuck his knee.
Yeah.
Like, because it looked like he went down pretty clean, but then you're like watching, he's like, oh yeah, now I can see his knee tweak. And it sucks because, one, they have this build, they have this excitement, they have this like, passion, and they're a damn good performer, and they're young. It also sucks because you get worried when you're there because you want to see them succeed, but and this is not me saying this that I'm thinking this, but I'm sure that there's discussions about this person being injury prone, and that's fucked up because that sucks. And there is something to it because the amount of surgeries you have on your knees, on these parts of your body, it doesn't make it stronger, and it
well, I mean, I think it depends too, though. I think that there a lot of times they're given options where it's like this will get you in the ring quickest, this will heal you the longest, and I think that most people go for the first one because they just want to get back in. So it could be one of those situations too where it's all like, hey, at this point, you've got to get that whole knee restructured if you're gonna not have a knee made of taffy or something,
Yeah, and if that's the case, that'd be awesome. I think, and you're right too, because I know early on Randy had his first shoulder injury and he was out for a long time.
Yeah.
Versus coming back significantly faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, they even talked about it with Fandango that he took the surgery option that would get him back in the ring quickest, not the thing that they would keep him out the longest. They said, you're like, okay, so the thing that would like be the most beneficial, like take it easy. So I just hope she comes back. You never know with those kinds of things. I just hope that this isn't like the end for her somewhere. I know that Triple H put out a statement where he promised that she's going to come back and be strong and that they're going to continue to push her because they believe in her. I hope all that's true.
Uh-huh.
We want the best for Tegan. We're big fans of her.
Yeah. And I think, that's something I think is really nice to hear because it's easy to go quiet. I think it means a lot to hear that because there's been people where they went quiet when somebody got hurt. So to hear that from Office is fucking great.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did you see Shotzi fall on her head?
That was a hell of a fucking bump.
That was terrifying.
God. Yeah, that was. We talked about this a little bit outside of this. I have no clue what the hell was happening there. I think you're right in that it was an under rotation.
Yeah.
Damn, that was so bad looking, and one of those bumps, especially now with things that you're just like, no, don't do that. I mean, she looked okay. She was able to complete the match, but that's one of those things where, God, she got lucky.
Yeah. I'm going to send you a tweet real quick. This is what she tweeted out saying, I promise I wasn't trying to, or I swear I wasn't trying to land on my head tonight. And she tweeted out this video of her completing the move successfully, which shows her like landing on her knees or her feet or something. But she does completely rotate around, and you go, oh, okay, cool. That is a cool move. I don't know what happened. I don't know if her body just stopped moving. You know what I mean? You just don't know how that stuff goes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things. It's not. It isn't. Pritchard says this a lot, but it's not ballet, and it's in the best of circumstances. It's easy to, have something slip, have, somebody just not go the way that you want them to move.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there, even just from a simple aspect where you're like walking and you're like, well, that's weird. My foot just stopped moving. You know what I mean? Like you twist your own ankle or something, or you kind of even like tweak your own knee, and all you did was step out of the car, and you're like, yeah, it just felt like my knee didn't move anymore, and I just kept going. So I think that's also a possible thing. I don't know that she was. I mean, like I said, she did it successfully in that other one, so I don't know that it's strictly anyone's fault or anything like that, or that something couldn't have been done differently or anything like that. I do know that they were checking on her, and they ended up finishing up that match pretty quick afterwards. I'm hoping that they just got her back there and took a look. I'm hoping she's okay. She's been getting a lot of people on the internet been talking about her. They're loving her, man. She's got a lot of steam behind her right now, and it'd be real shame to lose some of that.
Absolutely, she's different. She's damn decent. She's in the right place to keep building up and keep, growing,
Yeah, absolutely. I think NXT is probably the best place for her if she's going to develop and become an all-around type star. So,
yeah.
Luckily, as far as we know, nothing horrible happened there. Let's see. The Cruiserweight title's being defended at the Takeover. I don't think that's happened before. It's going to be Escobar versus Swerve.
I'm really liking Swerve's new look too.
Yeah, Swerve had a new cool look in the video. He's got like a jacket on and stuff.
I do. It's cool to see it. I'm hopeful that they continue to give them, keep giving the Cruiserweight title time. Put it on more shows. So hopefully we see more of it.
Yeah. I'd like to see more with Escobar and Swerve. I think that those guys are actually really good. I'm hoping this is. I mean, that match I think is going to be really good.
I'm actually pretty impressed. I mean, I've always been a fan of Swerve, but I'm really liking Escobar. I really do like his promos. I think like he can actually speak. Where I know a lot of times people are like kind of not great at speaking in if it's second language, but
that's hard to speak.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's struggling with it at all, and I think he's got a really clear vision of what his character is over there, and I think it's really cool. What do you think about that? Have you seen these little vignettes, these green vignettes, these dark vision goggles and stuff with someone returning?
It's Bo.
Do you really think it's Bo? I don't think it's Bo. There's no way it's Bo. There's no way it's Bo.
It's not Bobby Roode.
What makes you think it's Bo?
Okay, so it's a former NXT champion. Like we've heard a little bit about. It's a former NXT champion coming back, who is, and of those who still sign with the company, it's Roode or it's Bo Dallas. And Roode appeared on Raw, so I don't think fucking Roode's gonna be here, and it doesn't.
You don't think that was a swerve?
It's Bo.
It's not Bo. The dude also said he left 5 years ago.
Wasn't Bo like that?
Bo was the champion 5 years ago.
No, he wasn't.
I think he was.
Well, I think he wasn't, so... You are why I drink.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
He's not smart. I mean, nor is some of the writing, so he might have fucked that up,
That's true. He even said an accident. Oops, I mean fifth. Whatever, sixth.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Bo, but I don't know who it is. I know there's starting to be speculation it could be a woman. And if it is a woman, I don't know. Ember Moon be good to see back anywhere, but I don't know.
I've seen her.
She's good though.
I've seen
5
her,
years ago.
I've seen her name float around, but I still don't think. I mean, we don't know if she's clear.
Yeah, and to be honest, yeah.
I am one of the people that have followed her Twitch for a while, and she's never given any sort of indication that she's doing better. If anything, in her chat, a lot of times they're like, "Oh, don't mention it because not the best topic." Because if you have an injury and you don't know when you're getting better, you've been out for so long, that really sucks.
Yeah, I got a list right here of everyone who left 5 years ago. When was Bo a champion?
Bo was the champion of NXT 2014.
So 6 years ago. But he left like right at that point. So I mean,
he could have left. Yeah, he could have left right around Rumble to the main roster.
So we could be talking months instead of years.
Yeah.
Because in 2015, the people who left was Kalisto, Neville, Kevin Owens, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky, Braun Strowman, Tyler Breeze, and Sami Zayn.
Tyler Breeze ever hold that title?
No. Well, he was the FCW Florida Heavyweight Champion, but this is a clear picture of the person grabbing the NXT title, so no. The only person there who held the NXT title was Sammy and KO. The women's titles was only Charlotte and Sasha. And I don't think they're bringing either of them back. And I'm not saying it has to be the 5-year thing. Like you said, we could be talking about a different variation of months and whatnot to even throw you off. But, I mean,
or
the person
wrestling
could
math.
Yeah, it could be wrestling math. I mean, even with Bobby Roode, I mean, did he sign 5 years ago? Like, could that be the whole thing? 5 long years?
Someone also mentioned Jinder's name. But, again, we don't know with these injuries.
I don't know that Jinder was ever in NXT, was he? I don't know. I'm interested in it, and it drives me mental. I've watched the videos 100 times. So, I don't know. If you guys think it's anybody that you got a lock on, let me know, because I got nothing.
Rude signed 4 years ago.
Signed 4 years ago?
Yeah, with WWE. Nah,
Man.
Damn, that's a
fucking riddles.
That's an unsatisfying downfall, Rude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not been great. Although that whole you read about the James Storm thing?
Mm-mm.
He came out and said that he was in talks with WWE, meant to return right after WrestleMania, and had everything signed up and everything was ready to go, and then COVID hit, and they said we're gonna have to hold off.
Fuck.
Yeah, he was supposed to lose the tag titles at Crockett Cup, and then he was supposed to just appear right after Royal Rumble or right after WrestleMania in WWE. And you just, yeah, exactly. Dude's like, fuck. James Storm is so good.
That was also under Heyman, so.
Yeah, that's what he said. Is Heyman liked him. Heyman wanted him over there, but I mean, does Pritchard want him over there? I don't know.
I think
Go ahead.
I think there's an episode where Pritchard talks about him. Even it's kind of in the middle, like.
Really? Oh yeah. When he was working in TNA, he knew him. I thought he said he had good work. I don't know. I guess I have to go back.
In his TNA episodes, he said a lot of he did not give a lot of glowing positives about people in TNA.
I thought he did about James Storm. I don't know. I'd have to go back. Let's see real quick. What do we got? The Cameron Grimes stuff with Ridge Holland. I loved it, man. Ridge Holland's a bad motherfucker. He's a bad dude. And then, yeah, he just beat down Cameron Grimes like crazy after Cameron Grimes kicked Joey Pistachio, which I think Joey Pistachio is underrated, and I think he's got a big future.
He kicked him in the nuts.
I want Joey Pistachio to win the Rumble this year.
But what about Big E?
The Big E will find a different way. Yeah, final two, Joey Pistachio, Big E.
Big E just cracks his nuts. That'd be cool. I'm sure Big E would be cool with that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I would love if Big E ran out for the Rumble and remember that thing with the Good Brothers where they had like a jar that was supposed to simulate Big E's nuts it was
No.
pickled eggs. You don't
I
remember
don't. Nope. You have to send me a link about that later because we're talking about NXT. What did you think of Kushida?
I like Kushida. I like Kushida as a heel.
Yeah, he's making a pretty good mean guy.
Mm-hmm. Backing shit up.
Yeah, I'm really
Double
excited
shit.
about it. I really hope he just stomps Velveteen Dream, man.
Such
Yeah.
a fan of his.
Generally.
Yeah, just in general and also here.
The match actually happened outside. He just fucked him up outside of a Vaughn's grocery store. I'm cool with that.
You got him. Let me see. Dude, Adam Cole versus Austin Theory was so good. The promo that Adam Cole was even cutting on the way out, like, I don't know. I've told you before, I'm not a huge Adam Cole fan, but I was liking all of this.
He's getting better. New Adam Cole is getting a lot better, and I'm liking him. Like, he's not been bad. He's charismatic as hell, but I feel like for a period of time he kind of, I guess, positioned himself as this weird combination of the Young Bucks and Shawn Michaels and DX. Later DX. You know? And now he's like finding his own thing. And I think it was that WrestleMania feud. Or lead-in feud, not WrestleMania, with
Takeover 30?
Yeah,
McAfee?
Takeover 30. Yeah, McAfee. It was weird to see him in a face role, like sympathetic, but it worked. You know?
I don't know why, but it works for me so much better than him as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. Because, to be honest, he makes sense as a heel because he's a smaller dude, so he should have every reason to be an asshole and cheat to win and stuff and get his guys to gang up on you. But for whatever reason, him as a face, I'm buying into, and I'm liking it.
I agree. No, it's I'm cool with it. I like and I also like Austin Theory as a heel. Because I think he's doing kind of what you know, another part of Cole as a heel was, I'm young and look at where the hell I am. I'm 20. I'm 25 and I'm in the Bullet Club and I'm ROH champion and I'm going everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And it's like Austin Theory can be like, I'm 20 fucking 2.
Yeah,
And
I was in WrestleMania.
Eventually get to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it worked there too. Yeah, and I think Austin Theory was incredible in there. I expected it to be kind of a squash because I was like, it seemed like Austin Theory went down pretty quick and easy the other day. What was it last week against? I think it was Damian Priest.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe he was just going to be putting people over for a little bit and then get frustrated and come back up. But I thought that was a really good match between the two of them. And dude, I'm just gonna say this before we talk about the main event, but Zia Lee, I think is so good. And I don't know where they're going with her, but I'm really interested. I do think it was funny. They're like this. We've never seen her be this brutal. But the last little storyline we saw with her, she kicked 2 women in the face so hard it broke their nose, on purpose. Remember?
Yeah, she's not exactly been,
Yeah.
easy on people.
Yeah. She hasn't come off as not brutal. She's always come off as like a badass. So. I don't know. I thought that was a little bit weird and kind of a funny thing to say, but I really want to see what they're doing with her. Where do you think they're going?
I think I hope it's going to, building her and bringing her into the upper echelons of the NXT Women's Division because she could be there. I think the difference is before she was a fucking monster, but she was a monster and kind of a face. Like she'd come out to music and stuff like that and then fuck you up. Now it's just like, oh shit.
Yeah, she's kind of a badass.
Ah, shit, my nose.
What did you think about the mixed tag match at the end?
I like Damian Priest more and more, even though I don't see him as a face. But he's good. I like him in the ring. He's fantastic. I like EO a fuckload. Johnny and Candice are fantastic. I never really like team, like mixed match. We're gonna put both titles in the line matches, or any tag match, it's like we're gonna put both titles on there. I get the idea if it's like, look at how important these are, and do you think you can? But it feels weird to me. And I think that
Well, they weren't on the line. The titles weren't up.
They're going to be up at this weekend, aren't they?
They will be. So it was like instead of having one-on-one to build it, it was kind of this. I liked the stuff that EO did with Johnny. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm not as excited about Gargano and Johnny and Candice together as a story.
I think they're going to win it too this weekend.
Do you think they're going to take both of them?
Yep, I truly do, because I feel like that's the reason they're trying to build it in terms of like an interesting dynamic. Yeah, there'll be a heel couple with belts, but I don't know, because I think Io with the belt's great. I think Damian is just getting the belt, and I think he needs it a hell of a lot more than Gargano does, because Gargano's kind of at that point in my eyes where he's like an elder statesman here. He does fantastic matches. He makes people look like the fucking best, and that's fine. And he still, looks competitive to me. I think he could win a few more every now and again.
He's never won a match.
He has won occasionally. He's had to lose belts, remember?
Yeah, he only won the match so he could lose the next one.
Yeah. Theoretically, listen, that is wrestling. It just might be a longer process than that. But essentially, it's I won the match to lose the next.
Pull up that guy's record, man. Pull up that record. That record is ratioed. I'll tell you that right now.
All records are ratioed.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true. Gozer says he's got to go. Have a good night. Gozer, thanks for coming through. Cheers.
Thanks, dude.
We'll see ya. I agree with you. I think Johnny and Candice are kind of... I think Johnny's been there forever, and it just doesn't feel like he's ever won important matches to begin with. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that I think he's going to win this one. I'll say this. If they put both titles on Candice and Johnny, you know what you do with Io and Damian Priest, right?
Create a storyline with Keith Lee? No,
Straight to the top. You put them both in Retribution. They're now in the hottest angle in all of wrestling.
I'll hang up. I will leave.
Which we did not talk about on the last show, that there was no underground or retribution.
It's very possible some of them tested positive for COVID.
None of them have said they've tested positive for COVID. The only rumor I saw was that they were in contact with someone, but again, that was the other show about the other topics. But I say you bring them up, call them Katana and Bo.
Why would you call Io Bo?
Because she uses arrows.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like a crossbow.
And Damian's tall and lanky, like a katana is long and skinny.
Yeah, because he kind of looks like a samurai. He's got the man bun. The man bun is the thing, I thought, in all the video games.
No, he's got like a Hare Krishna ass haircut.
Yeah, that's actually kind of true. But I will say that all of this led up to a lot more interesting stuff for me as far as storylines go, as far as getting into TakeOver 31. I'm a lot more excited to see where it goes than I was prior to it. So I think, to me, the show of the week this week was NXT, where last week it was AEW. What do you think of the show overall?
Overall, I like this a lot more than AEW. And I'm not saying that to shit on AEW. AEW wasn't a bad show. This is a really good show, and it, I think, built up TakeOver perfectly. And we've been critical of NXT a few times in the past, so yeah. I think it's like back to form. Get your shit in, make it look good. Yeah. Keep doing these.
Yeah, 100%. I even felt like that this even has enough story building with other matches that I was wishing there were certain matches that would be on TakeOver. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see more of these people.
Yeah.
So, just really good. I think this is really good and progressive storytelling on the part of NXT. I felt like the pacing was good, and it kind of went through all the way through.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But I think that's all I have for it, dude.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for TakeOver. I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So you think that? So right now, you're saying Candace, Johnny, and Kyle are all gonna win.
Yes, that's.
Who do you,
I think that'll be it, and I think that Scott's gonna win too.
you think Isaiah Scott takes it? You think we get all new champs?
Yeah.
All new champs. All new champs.
Yeah, I'll go with all new champs.
All right. I think it's a bold prediction. I think there's a good possibility we get no new champs.
Yeah.
I think they're really going towards the no new champs. We'll see who's right in the end. And if it's half and half, then we both win.
Fair point.
I hate you. But I think that's it. Guys, check us out, WrestlingOnTheRocks.com. Find us at twitch.tv/WrestlingOnTheRocks and give us a little Prime subscribe. You can get entered in to win this signed AJ Styles comic book. We appreciate you guys coming through, having a drink. Remember, it's not about what you're drinking. It's about who you're drinking with. So go ahead, check out gosober.org.uk and join the Sober for October this month. Guys, I think that's last call.
Boom.
Cheers.